Ah, hell. I'm in the wrong game again. Hello everyone, Nary here from Drakewing Gamers. Some of you know me on Twitter, The Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Changeling Tale, Marion's Path. So, the developers have actually told me that they are going to be doing more romance options for different characters after the three main girls are out of the way. And, hell, I'm looking forward to covering this game for possibly several more years. More content! Yay! But anyway, girls. Anyway, guys and gals, please sit back and enjoy me entertaining you for the next 20 minutes, and let's jump right in. Alarm changer up, and let's go. Alright, okay. Here's much longer than the last time. I can tell by touch alone. And that means the measurements. The measurements Grace has been taking. Oh no. Has Grace been fibbing to her sister? Is Marion still changing? Marion! I'm too emotional to fully digest the notion right now. The sun is getting low on the horizon. I need the rest. I need rest, as must she. Marion, let me walk you home. Both of us should be readying for a good night's sleep. Marion loops her fingers into mine and places my hand against her chest.
I don't want to be forward, but I don't want to be alone tonight.
Her golden eyes reflect the setting sun, framed by thick, long lashes. I can feel her heartbeat steady and resolute. I take a deep breath and respond. All right, come with me. Don't want to be alone tonight, huh? Oh my! Back home, Gran's ubiquitous snores come as a relief. The sun has already dipped behind the mountains. I quietly lead my lady friend into my room, where I light 2 beeswax candles. Huh. Oh dear. Oh. Oh, hello, thumbnail. Mary and I curl up in my bed, under my childhood quilts and blankets, surrounded by everything that reminds me of my youth. The peeling wallpaper, chipped paint, even the hairline crack that runs from the door threshold to the ceiling. I never thought I would be lying here, cuddled chest to chest with the eldest McLeod girl, especially not under such unusual circumstances. My head presses into her soft hair, carefully nestled between 2 nubby horns. Horns! Inconceivable! For the first time, I try to imagine what Marion must be going through, what it must feel like. Her life and body completely changed. My mind conjures up flashbacks of the haunting dream I had when I turned into a stag. The sensation of my hands and fingers being slowly cloven together, the pain of antlers piercing my skull as they emerged. I think of Marion's adorable ears, and how odd it must have been to discover them. Did she feel them grow when they first transformed? My stomach churns and I shudder, but then cautiously relax back into the thought, maybe it feels good, like a powerful stretch in the evening after plowing the fields. Is it painful? Is it natural? Why am I too nervous just to ask her? I ease into the questions as delicately as possible. Marion, I've had another thought on my mind. I've been worried that I might change as well.
I have the same fears, Malcolm, but I want us to be able to move forward.
Did she hiccup, or? I do too, Marion. I never had reason to mention it, but I had a vivid dream upon returning home. And it transformed into a stag. I know I can't compare a mere dream to what's happened to you, but the sensations, the pain, the intensity are also lucid in my mind. Marion snuggles in closer to me and kisses my lips. I let her mouth linger on mine. I don't believe she is quieting me. She is reassuring me. When she smiles at me, I see the pink on the tip of her nose gets rosier, darker. Maybe it's just the light, but I truly don't think so. Her changes are continuing, and I'm at a loss for how to tell her.
You'll be fine, Malcolm. You have to be. To keep me sane. You don't show any symptoms, do you?
No, nothing I've seen. Marion yawns.
Oh my, I'm much more sleepy than I thought. Malcolm, thank you for being by my side today.
And always, Marion, sleep well. Marion flutters her eyes closed and presses her head onto my shoulder as I roll back, allowing us both more room to sleep. Oh. And guys, don't worry, more Heart of Amethyst is coming in a day or so. Don't worry. I'm very much eagerly looking forward to covering more of that game. I love it. Ooh. Ooh. Oh! Uh-oh. Oh my goodness. Oh dear. Oh dear! As she drifts off, I watch her tail inch out from under the quilt. Ever so slowly, it flops against the bed frame and extends further down to the floor. Had it grown or simply slipped out? The tip brushes along the hardwood and particles of dust float into the air. I don't know which is more disturbing, how my girlfriend's tail just swept against the floor, or how after all this time, I haven't swept my own living space despite the fervent dedication to chores. My brain turns itself off due to fatigue. Here I am, enveloped in a warm blanket cocoon with my dear Marion, a girlfriend, a woman I love. Is it too soon to think of such a thing? With a puff, I blow out the candles. Oh, man. Oh, Lord. Something's gonna be different when she gets... Oh, Lord. I wake to the sound of the cock crowing. My eyes flutter open and spy Marion slipping her shoes back on.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't want to wake you, but I must get back home. The herd, they'll need milking, and I can't trust that Grace will get it done.
Mm-hmm. She leans over, kisses me, and wraps her kerchief tightly around her chin.
I'll see you soon.
Soon. I roll over, but can't quite will myself back to sleep. I had seen the tail. It was thicker now, longer, and brown fur was trailing up her calves. Oh, dear. Marion's turned into a cowgirl. Ooh, I always love these transitions. Oh, my God. Oh, wow. Oh, my God. Several days. Oh, my Jesus. Okay. Oh, that a few days passed. Oh, my goodness. Quite a bit of time. One secret, 4 confidants, 2 households acting as one. We get through the next few days as a team, losing track of time, devoting ourselves to our labors. Even Grace chips in more, offering to go to the market to till the garden for spring sowing. Gran makes double batches of biscuits, scones, and shortbread to pass off to the McLeod girls to ease their baking load, which is not to say that Marion minds being chef. On the contrary, she seems to find great relief in cooking. We find ourselves overloaded with treats, cheeses, and vegetable stews in no time. Certainly a wonderful problem to tackle. I'm in the McLeod's kitchen with the girls one Sunday morning when Grace files a complaint.
Goodness, Marion, are you attracting flies?
What?
What on earth? Why would you say that?
Marion furrows her brow and looks humiliated. We go silent and all hear the buzzing, though. Thankfully, I'm quick to find the solution. The pies! I rush to the window where 2 cloudberry pies are attracting flies on the open windowsill. After a few waves of my arms, the bugs go off to find an easier meal. I shut the window behind them. Oh, Lord.
Malcolm, you saved the day, or at least dessert.
Marion hugs me and glares at her younger sister.
Grace, don't you have laundry to finish? Aye, but don't blame me for jumping to conclusions. I'm only looking out for you. Oh, get.
Oh, God. Sneeze. Oh. Oh, goodness. Oh, wow, that was a powerful one. Okay.
Oh, get. Our nary slice of pie will be left for you.
Marion chews me out, too, with 2 baskets of dirty laundry to scour alongside Grace. Outside, it's a delight to bask in the sun, even with my hands soaked in lye water, and even if it be next to a persnickety scamp like Grace. She stands beside me, surprisingly helpful, although the tide pool scent wafting off of her is overpowering. How much time does she spend down by the loch anyways? It seems she's a troublemaker, even unintentionally. I need to ask her how she's holding up, though. So, how you surviving all this? What do I even call it? Bovine business? Tail trouble? I'm at a loss, but it doesn't even need mentioning.
My horny sister. Quite honestly, I'm a bit jealous. I was hoping if I hung around the fish long enough, maybe I'd grow fins. Alas.
Keeping the secret safe. Ooh, interesting. She raises her hands and flips them back and forth.
Still 10 fingers and toes. That's a curse right there, I tell you.
Ever the sympathetic sister, I keep shoving the fabrics into the sudsy solution, rubbing them hard against the edge of the wood basin. Lower the music a little bit. There we go.
I don't know if she's told you, but she's desperately afraid of what Father will think when he gets home. Also frets about turning into a cow proper. I try to cheer her up, make jokes about getting free milk for life. It's really been terrible at times, though. I've heard her cry herself to sleep.
Grace wipes her soapy hands off on her skirt and starts wringing out her clean dish towels.
These days, I guess I worry about as much as she ever has. Or at least, now I understand her fears. Sometimes I'm afraid Marion will never leave the farm again, beyond our walls. And even when Father returns, well, that's just bound to make everything worse.
I cringe and don't raise my head. Grace might well be right.
At the same time, I've never seen her smile and laugh more. She's positively smitten with you, Malcolm. I'd say your timing is terrible, though. It's a shame you couldn't have returned to town after her tail goes away.
We laugh to break the somber mood. Here we are, Marion and me, falling in love as she struggles through this bizarre illness, affliction, ailment. She still appears healthy, just changed. Physically altered. It is to get better, doesn't it? Grace looks up and admits that which I did not want confirmed.
I've been lying to her about her ears and horns not getting any bigger. They grow every day, the tail too.
I know. I've seen the growth, the fur. I finally glanced up and see Grace nodding and smiling, with tears in her eyes, a sight I assumed to be uncommon.
Never say a word, but those ears of hers shed a bit. If things keep up at this rate, I'll be sweeping even more than we did when we had a house cat.
Grace dries her eyes and continues.
You know, I wanted to thank you for getting her that cowbell pendant.
My hands pause mid-scrub. Part of me still does not trust the trinket or its purveyor. Oh, I'm just glad she likes it. Does she still wear it?
Yes, when you're not around. I think she wears it to keep you close. To be honest, it's been helpful when she wanders off sometimes. I can hear her in the fields from 20 ells off.
Oh my. Has she been wandering often? Grace nods again and my heart sinks. It's like Marion to roam the fields. Like her sister, she's very structured in her daily routine.
A few times a day, it seems. She's usually among the herd, though, so I don't worry. But she skipped a couple of meals, which is definitely unlike her.
I don't know whether to worry or be relieved that she may be treating herself to some much-deserved privacy and personal time. You think she seems lonely? I've noticed it a bit. Even when we're all together, she seems distant.
Of course. I imagine her thoughts are quite scattered these days. Her friends in town are starting to ask after her, too. They know she's a busy woman, but I'm not sure how long that excuse can last. I think we need to tell her to go into the village, but I suspect she'll only listen to you.
Agreed. It's definitely a sound idea. If we all encourage her, Gran as well, I think we should try it. I think she would try it. Marion peeks her head out the window.
I just made 4 pots of Kranikin. I'll bring them tonight for dinner. We don't have any jarred raspberries, so I just used extra cream and whiskey.
Sounds delicious. I turn back to Grace. We need to get her out of here, or we'll be as big as heifers. Oh, please tell me I didn't just say that.
Malcolm Campbell, always away with words.
Hey now, maybe you should be the one who convinces her to leave the house.
She never listens to me.
Just tell her she should stay home forever.
But that's something I would do, not her.
Exactly. So hear that and run to the Staganani faster than she's ever run before. Oh, this game is so wonderful. The McLeod sisters join us for dinner that evening. Gran has made some beef stovies to use up our leftovers. We crowd around the small table, say the Selkirk grace, and dig in. Most of us do anyway. Marion just shoves the food around on her plate. Not much of an appetite. She shakes her head.
I'll stick to bread and vegetables tonight. Maybe a dram of whiskey for dessert. How does everyone like the greens?
Marion gestures to the big bowl of dandelion greens she prepared with spring onions and some unidentifiable and painfully accurate-smelling ingredients. Grace winces as she takes a bite.
Ugh, Marion, what is this? It's a bog bean fresh from the loch, and some burdock root juice that I extracted just today.
Can't wait to try a taste. I take a bite, and it's all I can do to keep it down. And all this time I thought Bulgaria's fried haggis balls might be the worst thing I would ever taste.
It's awful. It's good for you. It's supposed to be good for you. The herbology text I consulted said they're good for digestion and internal health. Where in the world did you get an herbology text?
Marion pauses and chews her greens happily. She couldn't look more smug.
It was Mother's. It was in her hope chest.
Grace stays quiet after that.
I say we all eat up. Whatever stovies or weeds, it's all good for our innards.
Gran is quick to change the subject, but it's not necessarily one I think Marion is ready to discuss.
The congregation has been asking about you, Marion. People are beginning to wonder what happened to you and if you're all right.
People, or the whist club.
Hush! Those are people too, Malcolm. Bite your tongue. I suppose I ought to make my big debut. I just need to make sure my kerchief is clean and my skirt is cinched tight.
She giggles, but her voice is cracking. She fiddles with her napkin before stuffing another scoop of those dreadful greens into her mouth and chomping away. All joking aside, Gran is right. Others would love to see you, and not just the whist club ladies. Grace picks up in support.
Alana has asked about you. So has Bulgaria. I imagine the preacher, too.
Grace looks to Gran on that account.
He certainly has. A great deal of people hope to see you.
Grace starts to lower her voice, almost to a whisper. Sorry about that, guys. I just took a shower, and I guess my Allergies are aggravated for whatever reason.
To know you're doing well.
Marion nods, understands we're not trying to badger her, just encourage her.
I know. It'd be best for me to go into town to see others. It's just been overwhelming. The fear? Yes.
Grace looks to me, pleadingly. That fear isn't going to go away. Well, if I let fear run my life, I never would have left the homestead ever again. I'd be holed up here alone with Gran, biding my time doing manual labor and drinking myself to sleep. Marion gives me a compassionate glance. But I took a risk. I reached out to you for support, for friendship. I think, Marion, what we're all suggesting is you to take your fear with you into town, but try to ignore it, at least for a short while.
I know you will all protect me. Look out for me. If you all join me, I'll be happy to go.
Oh god, 1 second, guys. Oh goodness. Okay. Oh god, I just couldn't even talk. Anything you need, Marion?
Anything at all. Agreed.
Gran does a mischievous grin.
We'll all go to church in the morning. Oh, well... It's too late to backtrack, Grace. Get out your Sunday best, Miss Grace. Shine your shoes, scrub your cheeks till they're pink. Maybe even consider washing the seaweed out of your mane, and we can find you a jaunty single fella. I hear Murdoch's nephew just lost his wife. He's a sea captain. Maybe he can get you a houseboat. You'd love that.
We all go silent, but Grace smirks.
There's nothing I'd like more.
I had an interesting idea. I will discuss it with you guys after this video is concluded. Just something to think about. Alright, we are heading on to the next day. Ooh boy, this is gonna be a big one. Lordy, lordy, lordy. Look who's turning 40-40. Alright. Alright, love thy neighbor. Oh boy, hopefully they actually do that. Morning arrives and Gran and I climb aboard Hazel to go over to the McLeods. We'll all ride as a team to church. The sun has barely crept into the sky and is hidden behind a veil of clouds. Oh, Marion and Grace come out and untie their steed, Heckin'. They lead him over to Hazel, to whom the stallion seems to have taken a liking. Oh, go get some Hazel. So, are you sure you want to go today?
If I must.
There's a pause as we all look to Grace. For all the world, you would think this trip was going to be harder on her than her sister. I turn my back to Marion, to whom the question was directed.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I want to hear the sermon, and to be with the congregation. And your kerchief fits properly.
Gran?
I want to be worry-free, Marion. Well, it's large, that's for sure, but it's comfortable and nothing slips out.
And the tail? I mean, you can see the outline of it. Marion spins for me, and indeed, not one conspicuous part pops out. She is a marvel.
All tucked in nicely. Malcolm, I'll be fine. No one will notice a thing. Stay calm, and I will be fine, too.
Oh dear, let's see how this goes, shall we? Ooh, okay. It's an awkward ride, and I'm thankful it's short. Gran has been tolerant of my flirting with Marion, but I learned that must stay within the confines of our respective homes.
Crivens, Malcolm, stop making moony eyes. Marion, stop twirling your hair. There's no one to impress here. You've already got the boy snared.
Gran tilts away, mostly to herself. Grace is stifling her laughter by burying her face in the back of Marion's dress.
I can't be seen with two of you if you're going to embarrass me. I want everyone to see my grandson and his new lady love, and be happy for them, not feeling sorry that I have to deal with two frisky schoolchildren romancing away in the pews.
It appears that Gran's fears manifest wholly in crankiness and complaints.
Agnes, you're as grumpy as Hazel today.
I'd argue that Hazel is much more dignified.
Well, just you two keep your hands to yourselves. No hand-holding during prayer, and absolutely no smooching in public. Not till the girl has a ring on her finger.
Marion turns beet red and nudges. Nudges Ekman to trot faster. I follow suit and Gran hollers at Hazel to pick up speed.
Oh, heaven help me!
Oh my lord. Oh wow, this can only go horribly. Our church bell rings 7 times and we huddle around Marion, leading her inside like an invalid. I feel bad for treating Marion so delicately. As we shuffle into the back pew, I lean over to her. We're sorry for making this such a big deal. We just want you to be comfortable. Let me know if all this hovering is too much.
So far, so good. I appreciate the closeness.
She lowers her voice.
Especially from you, but definitely don't let your grandmother know. And don't let her see anything.
I don't know what Marion means until she adjusts her big bow on her lap, letting the cloth at the ends fall partially across my legs. She slides one hand under the fabric and surreptitiously slips her hand into mine. I give her hand a squeeze. Don't do that, she's gonna turn more. How scandalous, Marion.
Don't let the preacher see. We may be removed for indecency.
The pastor comes to the podium and hush falls over the crowd. The subject of today's sermon, much to my relief, is much less contentious. In fact, it is surprisingly appropriate. Lovely neighbor, Marion and I giggle. The irony isn't lost on us. Only once during the sermon does the top of Marion's tail peek out from her waistband. I nudge her, and she softly snickers as I help her tuck it back in, with no one noticing. Unfortunately, her new silk kerchief is a bit too loose, and comes untied all too easily. I try every military knot I can think of, and Grace offers a hat pin, but the fabric won't hold. Uh-oh. Alright, guys, I'm gonna pause it right here. Alright, so this is what I am going to propose to you guys. I'm going to propose that I upload uncut versions of my videos to Pornhub. Yeah. I might find an audience there as well. I'm not going to stop uploading to YouTube, hell no. I'm doing really good on this platform. I'm growing every day. Going to be hitting 2,000 subs very, very soon. Very, very excited about that. But it's just something I was thinking about doing. Just, because there's a lot of furry content on Pornhub. I was actually very surprised at how many creators are on that platform. But, yeah, there's also a lot of people just playing, like, Minecraft over there. But anyway, guys, yeah, just leave your comments leave your comments down below what you think about that, and if you would be willing to watch my content on that platform. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and leave a super thanks if you can. It always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.